Hey everyone, and welcome back to Masonzero MTG. Lorwyn Eclipsed is coming out, and it's a fantastic return to the classic Magic the Gathering look and feel. It also has some really cool cards in it, including a lot that are playable in Cube at a variety of power levels. Today I've narrowed it down to my top 10 cards that you might want in your Cube, and I tried to cover a variety of different power levels that you might be running. But let me know what else you're considering in the comments below. Alright, first up is an honorable mention, which is Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash is Arc Trail, with the proper errata text on it. Otherwise, it's functionally the same card. Arc Trail is definitely played in some cubes, and splitting damage like this is probably better than ever with so many small, efficient creatures out there that you'll want to kill early. So if you've never seen Arc Trail before, consider giving Boulder Dash a shot. And if you're running Arc Trail, maybe consider putting this in your cube instead so that it has updated text and is easier to read for new players. Number 1, the Incarnation Cycle. The name Incarnation Cycle has powerful connotations. You might be thinking of the ones that grant abilities if they're in your graveyard, or the super powerful ones that evoke for the low cost of exiling a card from your hand. This new cycle may not go down in history for being as powerful, but they will be almost as iconic and revered for their great design, I imagine. This cycle of 5 2-color cards all evoke for 2 hybrid mana of their color, and when cast do 2 different effects based on whether 2 mana of their colors was spent. What this means is that you might get both effects if you cast the spell for its full cost, and you'll be able to pick which one you get if you evoke it. What's nice about this cycle is that all of the abilities are basic and straightforward and very indicative of their colors. Deceit bounces a permanent and or makes your opponent discard a card. Vibrance deals 3 damage to a target and or searches your library for a land. These are all playable, for sure, and I think many people who are considering 1 or 2 might just want to run them all for the symmetry. It seems like the best ones might be the Simic one, Wistfulness, and the Orzhov one, Emptiness. Every one of these provides value, but these feel the most efficient and likely to turn a game in your favor, thanks to the value they generate. But I don't think you're wrong for running any of them or all of them. Number 2, Kinscaer Sentry. Talk about a pushed aggro card. We really do not need more pushed white aggro cards in Cube, but this one presents another great option. This is a 2/2 with First Strike and Lifelink for 2 mana, which is already pretty good stats. But when it attacks, you can put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, if its mana value is equal to or less than the number of attacking creatures you control. So you can start getting extra 1 and 2 drops super fast. Aggro has no problem with dumping its hand already, and this will help even more. So you better hope you have some card draw to go with it. I think the ideal scenario is casting it on turn 2 after a 1-drop, so you're casting a 3-drop on turn 3, and putting in a 2-drop for free that's attacking. Seems good, but I worry its value will run out fast, or with 3 creatures already on the board, the Sentry won't provide much additional value. It's also pretty context dependent. Since they enter attacking, these cheated-in creatures won't get any on-attack triggers that they might have, so look at what else might be played in white-based aggro decks before just throwing this card into your list. Number 3, Sear. I love seeing simple little cards that are also efficient upgrades. Sear does just that, as a 2-mana 4-damage instant that hits creatures and planeswalkers. It's an upgrade over Thundering Rebuke, and while the exile of Obliterating Bolt is relevant, I think instant speed matters a little more. It's also worth comparing it to Flame Slash and to Molten Exhale, which was maybe the best 4-damage spell up until now. Regardless, there are a lot of scary 4-toughness creatures running around these days, and I think this is worth considering playing. Number 4, Formidable Speaker. Formidable Speaker is a world champion card whose creator literally said he designed it with Cube in mind, so it's no surprise that this card is good in cubes, specifically higher powered ones with creature combos. It's a 3-mana 2/4, hey, there's that 4 toughness I just mentioned, and when it enters, you discard a card and search your library for a creature card and put it into your hand. You can also pay 1 and tap to untap another target permanent. So it searches for your combo piece while also potentially putting a reanimation target in the graveyard. Then you can untap your Gaia's Cradle or your Tolarian Academy or get infinite mana with Time Vault. It's a solid blocker, and even in less powerful environments, it can still do some minor shenanigans with these abilities, so I think it's worth trying. Number 5, Adept Watershaper. Other tapped creatures you control have Indestructible. One simple line of text with so much crazy potential behind it. The obvious is that your attackers are protected, which is crazy on a card like Ocelot Pride that can keep attacking with lifelink and making tokens, or on any vehicle such as Smuggler's Copter, which will allow any creature to tap to crew it at instant speed and then become indestructible. Play a bunch of mana dorks and tap them for mana after blocking with them. It's also great with the previously mentioned Kinscaer Sentry, allowing it to keep attacking and giving you creatures without dying in combat. Of course, the only downside, as with many cards like this, is that it does not protect itself. But being a 3/4 for 3, it's not super easy to kill and is outside of bolt range. I think just based on how many interesting avenues this card opens versus how clean the text box is, makes it very worth running in your cube. Number 6, Moonshadow. Oh wow, Moonshadow is a 1 mana 7/7 with Menace. What could possibly be the downside? Well, it's actually not as much of a downside as it could be, or maybe should be. It enters with 6 -1/-1 counters on it, but a 1 mana 1/1 with Menace is still not the worst thing in the world. Then whenever one or more permanent cards are put into your graveyard, you remove a counter. So fetch lands, milling, surveilling, discarding, and just creatures dying over the course of the game will slowly make this creature a real threat. Since it only costs 1 mana, it's not too painful to lose it before it can do much damage. There's also just Vampire Hexmage if you want to potentially attack for 7 on turn 2. If you're thinking about comparisons, take a look at Stalactite Stalker, which will probably play pretty similar, potentially a little slower though. However, it does come with removal tacked on. Number 7, Abigale, Eloquent First Year. Abigale is a 2 mana 1/1 that can go in a white deck or a black deck thanks to hybrid mana, and it has Flying, First Strike, and Lifelink. Those stats aren't super crazy, but the ETB has a lot of potential. Up to one other creature loses all abilities and gains Flying, First Strike, and Lifelink. Doing this on something with a downside like Rotting Regisaur or Death Shadow is pretty funny, but it can also turn off an opponent's creature. A Mother of Runes having these keywords is probably way better than it giving out protection every turn. You can make Fiend Hunter permanent. Make sure a vehicle stays a vehicle. Turn off a mana dork that your greedy opponent is relying on for fixing. Not to mention we're in the colors of Blink and Reanimation here, so you could get the effect multiple times over the course of the game. This is a surprisingly decision-deep card that I think will play more interestingly than a lot of people might expect. Number 8, Glen Elendra Guardian. This fairy has an onboard counterspell, which is pretty nice. It's a 3 mana flash flying 3/4 creature. Man, a lot of 3 mana 3/4s in this set. What's going on? Anyways, it enters with a -1/-1 counter on it, so it does enter as a 2/3, but then you can pay 2 and remove a counter from it to counter a non-creature spell, and its controller draws a card. Threatening a counterspell for your opponent's key card is always some fun psychological warfare, but this card is more than just that. For one, it flashes in as a 2/3 blocker, but it also doesn't say that you have to remove a -1 counter specifically. If you have +1/+1 counters or any other kind of counters, you can remove those too. Or you can just blink this since you're in blue already. It can also just be an attacker. The big thing though is that this is an expensive way to counter a spell. It can only be a non-creature, and your opponent gets to draw a card. But, like a lot of the cards on this list, it does unlock another edge case avenue that could be fun, which is that if you're desperate for a card, you can counter your own spell, essentially cycling the card. But hey, cycling is still cycling when you're trying to top deck for an answer. Number 9, Thirst for Identity. The Thirst cycle continues. Thirst for Identity might be the best version yet, depending on what you're looking for, as creatures are the card type you want to discard the most in most cases. There are a lot of great discard spells that are in a similar vein, like Winternight Stories or Stock Up, but this one is simple and does the thing, and it does it at instant speed, which is perhaps the most important detail. Number 10, Iron Shield Elf. We're ending on a pretty basic one, but still impactful. In fact, that's been a theme today. Simple cards that serve a awesome role in Cube. Iron Shield Elf is a color-shifted version of Seasoned Hallowblade, going from white to black. And especially in black, this is a huge addition. It's a 2 mana 3/1 creature that allows you to discard a card to give it indestructible and then tap it. For those who aren't paying attention, that is a free discard outlet in black, the color of Graveyard Synergy and Reanimation. So you can toss this down on turn 2 or 3, get a Grizzlebrand or something into the bin, and cast Reanimate on it, all while still having a pretty relevant attacker. Or to a lesser extent, you can always discard a Rot Curse Rakshasa or a Karsi Revenant and get some good value out of that. I can see this being a pretty common black staple moving forward in mid to high power cubes. So those are my top 10 cards from Lorwyn Eclipsed for Cube. There are some awesome cards in this set, including many more that didn't make my list. It's not every set that we get this many exciting options, so Lorwyn Eclipsed is a slam dunk set as far as I'm concerned. Like the video if you like it, subscribe for more content like this, and leave a comment letting me know what you're thinking of trying in your cube.